Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're broadcasting from Blue House Media. We have an amazing show for you today. My guest is a producer. He's none other than the Mack McKinney. He's a two-time Grammy Award-winning producer as well as a Juno Award-winning producer. If you want to know what it's like to make it in the music industry, well, you come to the right place. So stay tuned because this is Up Close with Corey Taylor. Hello and welcome back, and we're here with none other than Mack McKinney, two-time Grammy Award winner and Juno Award winner. Hey, sir, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad you got a chance to come, man. We've been working on this it's almost been like a year. In October, it will be a year. We've been working on trying to get. That's when I met you.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it's almost been a year, but that's just a testament to how busy you've been in your schedule and everything, man. And I mean, so what have you been up to? I know it's been a lot, but what have you been up to, man?
Oh, just plain working, making more music. Pretty much, it seems like the last year I've pretty much traveled the States off and on between Atlanta, New York, back to California, which in time has made it 8 months or 9 months.
Right.
'Cause I've been here like twice, or 3 or 4 times actually, and we haven't been able to actually get together, but, we're here now, so it's just been all good, between music. Top of the year's been busy. Slows down a little bit, got a little space in summer, but picks right back up. So.
Wow, so that's awesome, man. So like with the artists that you're working with now, when I talked to you before, my son actually knew about them. They were some island guys. What were they called?
I was doing the Common Kings.
The Common Kings, man.
Yeah.
So you just not just a R&B guy, but you work with pop music. You've done all types of music. What made you want to start getting into music and doing what you're doing today?
Pretty much I kind of grew up around it. So, my dad's extensive history and everything, and my grandmother, they're really known in the state and whatnot. So, when you kind of come up, growing up in California, it was like, we'd have different people in the living room from top musicians, the Neville Brothers and even Tulsa's the Gap Band people, just different people. So, kind of got birthed into it, and then I didn't actually want to do it. My big thing was I played in bands in the high school and stuff like that, and then by the time I was probably like in the 11th, 12th grade, I was burnt out. So I wanted to do something totally different, So, but then it eventually comes back around, but then the good thing about it is like a lot of the stuff comes back to you, and then you just learn and picking up where you kind of left off, and then just once you start to get it. And I've always been lucky to be pretty good with sonics, so that kind of helped me a lot in doing different genres of music. So I really wasn't never really, I'm not like really ever known as an R&B guy or a pop guy.
Right.
So, and I'm kind of I kind of came through the age of technology with the live stuff. So, I kind of adapted to the newer school way of doing stuff and using the technology to the advantage of what I'm doing. And I'm able to play, so that helps a lot, too.
Now, you are a modest guy, and I remember this when I first met you, because you were at an event, and I actually met your dad. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to say this. Your dad played with Michael Jackson.
Right.
And so, and I want our viewers to know that because you are a modest guy. And then I went to this event. Someone invited me to this event, mm-hmm. and then I saw your dad and all of his stuff that he had accumulated, his triple platinum and plaques and all that stuff. And I was like, wow. And then I went because I was going to talk to your dad, and somebody said, well, his son is famous too. And I was like, who is his son? And they was like, that guy right there. And I was like, that guy? They was like, yeah. They was like, that's the Mack McKinney. And I was like, okay, help me to understand, because I used to do some music stuff, but I didn't know a lot about music, and so I kind of left that for probably about 9 to 10 years, and then came into television and things of that nature. But you are definitely modest. I got a chance to see your dad when he was there, and you guys are shy guys, but what helps you stay grounded, man? Because every time I talk to you, I have to pull stuff out of you, like, man, what are you doing, man? And you like, I'm in Atlanta, or I'm in LA, or I'm in New York. So what helps you stay grounded, man?
Well, I guess I don't really look at it. We never really look at it like, I kind of never looked at it like to go somewhere and say like, you do this and this, because it's like a lot of times when people ask you, hey, do you have a card? A card.
Right.
And then my big thing I always was like, man, I don't know what I'm supposed to put on the card, like producer, writer, or musician. So sometimes it's like, so, but I don't know, I kind of like operating more behind the scenes, because then I deal with a lot of singers, and I mean, gosh, you see some of the more famous ones who you might work with, and they have a certain day they come in the studio, and then they might be down because in the age of social media, this and this has been written about them, and so I was like, nah, that's really not my thing,
Stay out the limelight.
Yeah, and then I kind of staying grounded. I guess really for me, I mean, my dad's like a really laid back guy.
Yes, he
and
is.
So I kind of took that from him, and then I guess when you play for Michael Jackson and stuff like that, I mean, I kind of don't think like I don't know if I could ever do anything to top that.
Right.
So I don't really have nothing.
Because your dad was with Michael Jackson for some years. About how many years was your dad with Michael Jackson?
Gosh, roughly probably about 10 from what I can remember, maybe.
Wow.
Just touring, and doing various stuff, but yeah, he was with him for a while. I mean,
now again, I have to stop you because you was like, yeah, you be working with some of the artists and stuff like this, just so people know. I mean, come on, man, like you're a modest guy, but Diddy, Neo, Danity Kane, like I mean, Keke Palmer, like man, the list goes on and on of your discography and stuff like that. So when you are in those environments with those people, or when you first got into the whole music thing, like what was your attitude towards this? Because of course, yeah, your dad has been with Michael Jackson. You've been around all these famous people growing up, being in your house, like playing and shedding sessions and all this stuff. But what was your attitude now that you were going into it, even though you were reluctant?
Well, I mean, after I went to the Navy for 4 years, so after being in there about 20 minutes of boot camp, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be here that much longer after 4 years. So I was like, so basically when I got out, I kind of had to get my feet wet kind of again, and learn the program. So my biggest thing was just, I want to be halfway good, I want to be good. Because it's one thing when you're like, you're good, or people think you're good from where you're from, your city or your town or whatever. But then when you go out on a national level, like, you start talking about L.A. and New York and Miami and London, then, I mean, I think everyone kind of has like, well, man, am I really supposed to be here? But, and I mean, even still, I go work with somebody new, I mean, or somebody that's big and whatnot, or an established artist, it's still always a filling out process. So, you still kind of, because every day you can't be on.
Right.
Every day you're not on, but I think the biggest thing now, which really helps me now, is more importantly, I know when I'm not on versus thinking I'm on all the time,
Right.
But, it's just, I don't know, it's just something you kind of get used to. And the good thing is, I guess, I don't really have like you said, I'm kind of low key. So I don't really have a high or a low, so I don't really get all extra excited. And then I don't really get extra sad. So usually if I'm in the middle, when I stay in the middle, nobody can tell anyway because they're like, oh.
Right, you just cool. That's Mac. He leveled out no matter which frame of mind you're in.
Right.
So when you got out of the Navy, and being that you were reluctant and things of that nature, when you decided to go down this route, like what was your first avenue? Because I know that we're gonna have viewers who are gonna see this and they're like, because so many people nowadays, they're on the internet. Everybody's trying to get their start.
Right.
Like, and I know, your dad worked with Michael Jackson, but of course I also know about the music business. People have to pay their own dues. So what was your first inroads into getting into what we call the music industry and going from being like this independent person doing whatever to getting into the industry?
Well, when I think about it, it was kind of a couple of different things because really, like I said, when I started getting into it, it's kind of like I got into it as the change kind of started happening. So really, what my dad had kind of did, that guard was kind of leaving. So it didn't really. It was almost like I had to start from scratch. Yeah, I knew a couple of things, and whatnot from there. But one thing that really helped me is I met a friend of mine, his name was Rory Bennett, and I had met him, and we were really cool, and he would bring me around to show me stuff, and he was kind of struggling a little bit then, and he was playing with CC Peniston, I think, back then.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was more of like a road guy, but then after that, I didn't talk to him for a minute, and I looked up, and then he had wrote the biggest song of the year. He had produced Casey and JoJo's All My Life.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like literally I seen him one day, and and like 9 months later, he went from driving a Chevy Corsica, and then a friend of mine was like, "Hey man, he's over there at Enterprise. You should go see him."
Right.
Like, really? And I go in, and he's riding a Ferrari. So it's like, and he's like, "Man, I've been looking for you, man. Come through, work with me, and do some stuff." So then from there, he kind of put me in the K and Joe fold early on when they were kind of starting to blow and stuff like that after the Jodeci stuff. And then that put me on to, that's where I got connected to Quincy Jones a little bit after that. And then from there to Universal and just doing stuff, And then a little bit after that, I started getting more and more stuff, and then I met Anthony Hamilton right around then,
right.
And no one knew who he was. So then we worked on stuff, and then right after that, I was kind of jumping between because I was doing some rap stuff, like I was doing the G-Unit stuff and stuff like that. And then Anthony's stuff kind of came along, and then from there, it's weird. It just phases in. After a while, it's weird because it seems like you do go and try to do so much stuff to make it happen. Then one or two things happens and it changes everything.
So I want to stop you and ask you this question. So after you started, making all those inroads and everything, I think it's something important that younger people that are up and coming in the music business need to know right now. And this is what I heard you said. The guy was named Rory, right? Mm-hmm. You had a relationship with him before he even got big. And so many times when people are trying to get in music, they want to try to find the biggest people to be cool with instead of building relationships. And I had a mentor of mine, like his big brother to me. He said, man, it's all about the relationships that you build with people. And as those relationships build over time, then if an opportunity come up, then they want to work with you because y'all already got a relationship. He said, but so many people are just knocking on doors trying to get in, and they don't know that the people in the industry are pretty guarded because they get this every day, all day. Yeah. So what would you say to some young person that's in your shoes now, but you've already got there, but how would you tell them how to conduct themselves now?
Well, the biggest thing I tell everybody all the time when I'm on panels and whatnot is get in a room, get around people that are creative, that are better than you or that you feel are better than you, because it creates a synergy. And just the way that the energy works in music business, even acting, whatever, everybody, when you're in a certain area, people are always gonna come up. So like I said, when you're trying to get with the top people, that's the problem, because a lot of times everybody wants to get with them. It's kind of like, when you're trying to get to a Rihanna and all that, she ain't got time for you.
Right. Right. That's keeping it 100. She has no time for you.
But you get around people that are talented, because at some point everyone gets a shot. If you put yourself in the right positions, you're going to get a shot. And like I said, a lot of times when you have relationships with somebody before, and I mean, it happens to me all the time, it's people we used to all run together. From Miguel to Bruno Mars to, we all know each other, So at a time like 9-10 years ago, we were all hanging out with each other, and everybody knew everybody had some type of talent, So then when somebody happens to make it and, or get to that next level, a lot of times you're going to move with who you're comfortable with. Of course you're going to have other people, that call shots, from the labels to management and whatnot. But when it comes to a true creative process of what you really want to do and what you're trying to do, then most of the time people are going to look back and say, yeah, I know what they're about already, because we already knew each other, and your relationship is really, really important, because a lot of times your relationship, when you're not making money and whatnot, that's your credit card.
Right.
So I mean, and you never know when you have good relationships with people that are doing things. You never know when you're gonna get the call like, "Hey, I'm working on this."
That's interesting that you said that, because we interviewed Tony Estes before, and she worked with Whitney Houston when Whitney Houston won her Grammy right before she, some years before she passed, and that was the thing she said, because she worked with Rodney Jerkins, and she said, I knew those guys, and then they were like, hey, we're getting ready to work on this project with Whitney. Do you want to come and work with us? And she was like, what? Hold up. Like, and it was because they knew she had talent. They knew she was creative. And then it put her in a position that she was, didn't nobody know if it was going to be a Grammy, whatever. But they were doing what they wanted to do creatively. And it worked out, just like what you're saying with your situation. So when you were going through and you're starting to get in these circles with these, people that were in a better position than you were musically at the time, when did you realize that, like, I'm really in the thick of it, like I'm really in here? Did you ever have that moment that you was like, dang, I'm really working with, like, I'm in here, like?
Yeah, I mean, I probably had like 4 or 5 of them. I still have them,
Right. I get it.
I mean, I still have them. It's like, I mean, sometimes, I'm in New York and it's like I'm in a big studio and all this, and I remember looking at it like, man, I wish I could just get there. But I mean, I've had probably 4 or 5 of them. I mean, from the first time hearing your song on the radio, like that's one of them. I mean, another good time is I become real good friends with Teddy Riley. And I remember Teddy pulled me aside one day and was like, "Man, you like really good." And I was like, "Whoa," So it didn't make sense still then. So I'm like, "Oh man," because I think everyone always thinks they're good, or you have to, to a point. It's just a matter of how you express it. But, everyone, you always still, we all still have a normal doubt, that am I really good, or am I good enough to do this and whatnot? So
Correct.
So I think that when you have that, you got to always keep that, because that's what drives you to keep pushing the limit and pushing the levels and trying new things out and broadening the horizon on sounds and stuff.
Wow, now take us back to the time, because I'm glad you said that, because I remember watching the movie The Five Heartbeats, and the brothers, when they heard their song on the radio for the first time. What was that feeling like for you when you heard your song on the radio for the first time?
The very first time, I remember I did a remix for, God, I can't remember, but I did a remix for a group. And literally, I had been listening to it in my truck at the time and everything. So it'd always be in the car playing and whatnot. So one night I go to a friend's house, I walk out, I get in the car, and I'm riding, and it's on. So my mental, I'm thinking like, oh, it's just
you're playing it through
the
system, right?
And I never forget the guy coming in off the radio, and he's like, oh, that was it's Virtue. It was a remix for this gospel group named Virtue.
Right, I know Virtue very well. I know who the group is. Wow.
So I did that. That was one of the first things, and it was a Sunday too. So it was like on the radio, and it's like, oh, yo, that's the new remix to this and this, and I was like, man, so you kind of had to pull over.
You had that moment.
You get a moment, yeah. So I mean, I had a couple. I mean, when I did Damage, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest, best moments, because I can remember doing one of the songs, that and another Joe song I did was in my bedroom. And I can remember doing that, and I can remember flying here and coming to visit my parents and whatnot, and it was on one, I got in the rental car, and it was on one station, and my friend was like, oh, wow, that's your song? I was like, yeah. Then we turned to another station, it was on the next station. Then we drove to Dallas, and it was on the radio then it was on the radio there. Then I remember my little sister had called me, she's like, that song, she was down in Miami, she was like, I play that song all day long. She's like, and everyone at work tells me every time it comes on, I'm so tired of it. So I was like, yeah. So that's when you know it's kind of.
So in all of your success, when you're around your family, do people treat you different in the family, or are you just like, oh man, whatever. I mean, do you get that? Because some people tell me that, like they're like, man, like when I'm not at home, everybody know me, and it's kind of this royal treatment. But when I get home, I'm still the big brother, the little brother, whatever. What is that feeling like for you?
Uh, Honestly, we don't really talk about it. I mean, just to be honest,
Right.
it's like my daughters, we never even talk about it, and my sisters, they don't ask me too much, and because it's just kind of always been around, It's kind of like when everybody does something, and they do it to a point. I mean, there might be a question here and there, but I mean, especially I think in my family, because I mean, we kind of laid back, so I go to the studio a lot, but my dad still does what he does, and occasionally he might have questions for me, and stuff like that on more newer technology things.
Right.
But nah, definitely don't get treated different. I might get treated worse.
So
my mom would be screaming.
Let me ask this question. So, because I've had previous conversation with you, and what was it like? Like, did you know that your dad was like? Did you realize, like, I'm a Michael Jackson fan, always will be, always have. Did you realize that your dad was on the road with Michael Jackson? Did that hit you? I know you said your daughters are like, okay, whatever, and your family's like, okay, that's cool. We don't really talk about it. But how was it when you realized, like, your dad is on the road with the King of Pop? Like, this is not just like some little local band. Like, he on the road with this guy. What was that like for you?
I'm gonna be honest. At first, I from what I remember, I used to get confused because I'd be like, I used to wonder like, why is everybody falling out when he touch him? I was like, that's the big deal. It's just Mike,
Right.
So,
Right.
But I think in the phase wise, from how I saw it, it was more of a thing of because I used to go to the rehearsals. So how they would do the rehearsals for the tours and stuff is they do a rehearsal where it's just plain, it's flat. It's just pretty much the band and him and the brothers maybe doing their thing, just going over stuff. So it didn't really seem like that special, But then as they move it in, they bring the stage in and they start doing more and more stuff, and then you start seeing the magic tricks and all that, and so by the time it's done, but then still when you see it from that level, you don't understand, like, okay, you're like, yeah, it's gonna be good. But then when you go and see it in the stadium, and then it's like, and you see everybody out there screaming, and and I remember one of my most vivid stories I can definitely remember is I got so tired of seeing the same show that I used to just sit in the back, and then he'd let me sit on the side of the stage, and then me and maybe some of Tito's sons, we were all friends, so we watched the show. One night we might watch it from this side, then we go to this side to watch it, And I can remember it being so dark out there, you couldn't see nothing from the stage from the back. And they ran the lights across the thing, and when I say you could see like 20,000 people and I mean, you could see the person sitting way up in the back.
Wow.
And it was like, well, I guess it is kind of a big deal. You start seeing, running out of hotels, and changing stuff. And so that was kind of like my early experience into everything. Like, so I guess that is a reason why I guess you could be kind of more low-key and grounded. Because after you see that early, it's like, I would never want to be in none of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. So you had that experience with Michael Jackson and things of that nature. So where are you at now today? Because you've been doing this for quite some time. I mean, I when I was doing research on you, like 2008, you was like Songwriter of the Year for something. I mean, you have so many accolades, man. Like one would say, you talked earlier about how you try to stay hungry. But like at this point, like Michael Jordan, he went out and then he came back. Like, where are you at now? Because you've accomplished what most people set out to accomplish in life. So where are you at now in your whole mentality of what you're wanting to do?
Well, for me, the good thing about being in and like I said, being in the game kind of like through the mid 2000s and all that and the early part of the decade is it started to shift. So the thing about staying hungry inside of music and entertainment period is it's always shifting. So you had the internet shift, And now, records and CDs wasn't that more of a big of a deal as they used to be. And then now you had the whole change into like the streaming, the iTunes and whatnot. So I mean, the hunger comes from adjusting, and still trying to stay relevant within the adjustment of the technology and the way that the music is distributed and everything. So for me, that's what really helped me. And then the good thing now is, like I said, it's a lot more cross range of music to go, because now you don't really have like a artist that's just gonna do R&B. At some point, I mean, like you look at the Ushers and Rihanna's and Katy
like a
Perry's.
Nelly who did country.
Right,
Everybody's crossing genres.
Yeah, it's okay to cross bridge and do everything. So for me, I mean, the challenge is I'm at the point now where I kind of, the last 2 or 3 years, I've really focused on more on working with newer people, like people before, right before they break, or stuff that I really like, and because then I have a passion for it.
So in about 20 seconds, what advice would you give someone of what it would take for them to be successful in no matter what they're doing?
Vision, whatever you want, whatever you're trying to do, look ahead. Don't look into the now. Don't look at what's big right now and then say I'm gonna do something just like that, because it's already been done. But you could take the format from that and look forward and say, okay, how can I make this better? Or how can I fill a need that isn't there right now? Because then you make yourself a lot more viable, from what you're doing. But all that, to me, I'm all about vision, looking towards the future. And that's my whole thing, in music and the creative part of making stuff, using different new sounds, new artists, just stuff like that. I like to work with people where I can see it long before everyone else, besides a few people, and then you're there in the beginning. So to me, it's all about vision, realizing, life has its ups and downs, because when you're trying to do something like anything else, you still have to live, So, balancing that time, between if you're working and whatever, because it's, you have to do what you have to do. And there's nothing wrong with working until you can get to your dream, but look down the line and have the vision for where you see yourself doing, a year, 2 years from now, then 4 years from that, and setting down the foundations for the blocks of that vision that you're trying to execute, so.
Well, Mac, thank you so much for coming, man, for the interview, and I appreciate you. Hope to get you back soon.
Of course.
All right. I hope you've enjoyed our show today. I would like to thank my guest, Mac McKinney, for joining us. Think about this. Change is inevitable, but your attitude towards that change, it is always optional. Until next time, keep looking forward.